this video, we're going to see that not all graphs are straight lines in the form y equals mx plus c. Here we've got 4 examples. Firstly, y equals x squared. Completing the table of values, when x equals -2, -2 squared is 4. When x equals -1, -1 squared is 1. 0 squared, 0, 1 squared, 1, and 2 squared, 4. Plotting it on the Cartesian plane, we'd find -2 equals 4, -1 equals 1, 0, 0, and we've got some symmetry here. And the shape that it forms using curved lines is called a parabola. And this is known as a quadratic equation. Next example, y equals x cubed. -2 cubed would be -8. -1 cubed, -1, 0 cubed, 0, 1 cubed, 1, and 2 cubed, 8. And here you get a funny shape where you've got 2 goes up to 8, 1, 1, and you get this shape for this cubic joining the dots with smooth lines for y equals x cubed. Our next example is 1 over x. 1 over -2 is -1/2. 1 over -1, -1. Now 1 over 0 is undefined. You cannot divide by 0, so there's actually no point or part of the graph that exists here. 1 over 1 is 1. 1 over 2 is 1/2. Now plotting this very basically, when 2 equals 1/2, now we don't seem to have enough points here, so let's think about, well, when x is 1/2, 1 divided by 1/2 is 2. So we get this graph that looks like this shape, and it never exists where x equals 0. Lastly, y equals the square root of x. The square root of -2 you cannot do. You cannot take the square root of negative numbers. So the graph does not exist when x is less than 0. But when x is 0, the square root of 0 is 0, the square root of 1 is 1, and the square root of 2 is approximately 1.414 rounded. So when we graph this, we have 0, 0, 1, 1, 2 comes up to 1.4. In fact, it wouldn't be until we got to 4 that we'd get the square root of 4 is 2, and we get a shape of graph like this. So not all graphs are straight lines in the form y equals mx plus c, and you will start to investigate these in more depth further into your high school education.